Now that you have your class blog created, you can go ahead and start having your students creating posts. I'm going to go ahead and show you the difference between what it looks like when a teacher makes a post and when a student makes a post. So the one thing is the URL is what you'll use for your students to access the blog and sign in, as well as to log in as the administrator. You need to make sure you know what this URL is. It's going to be kidblog.org, and then whatever you named your class blog, that will go after kidblog.org as your URL to get to your blog. So you can see here the blog that I created, the PD 2013. I have that URL in the address bar, and that's what allowed me to get to this site. So once I'm to my blog, you can see I can see the students that are in my class. You can also see Mr. Fenstermaker as the administrator, and I show up on the blog directory. So if I click on login, again I'm taken to the login page where it allows me to choose my name from a drop-down menu. The first example I'm going to show you is what it looks like to create a post as a teacher. The biggest difference as a teacher is that you have the option that once you create your post, it automatically posts it. It doesn't have to be moderated. Since you're logged in as yourself as an administrator, it's assuming that you're going to be making posts that are appropriate for school. So once I log in, I can create a new post directly from this page. I can also, if I'm in the control panel view, I can choose new post from here as well. It's going to bring you up to the same window. So again, this is creating a post as an administrator. So as the teacher of the blog, you can create a post. So I'm going to click on new post. You can see the window pops up. I've got quite a few options here. Again, I can access the dashboard. I kind of have all of the tabs that I have like before when I was logged in, adding users to my class. So again, I can go back to dashboard. I can navigate to all those options, but if I'm on a new post, I can go ahead and give the blog or the post that I'm going to make a title, and then you've got two tabs here. One of them is the visual option, so it's going to show your post that you're making, what it's going to show like exactly when you put it onto the blog. The HTML I'll talk about later. This will be important if you're going to embed some stuff, and that'll be stuff that we'll talk about later. So keep it as visual. Your students are most likely going to use the visual tab more often than not to create their posts. So basically it's kind of like Microsoft Word as far as I can go ahead and I can format the text the way that it's showing up. So this is a sample post. I can choose to make it bold, italicize it, underline it. I can add bullets. I can also add hyperlinks. So what I mean by that is if I wanted to hyperlink to something, I can click, or I should say I can highlight what I want to hyperlink. So if I highlight it and then I click on the chain, I can choose to enter a link so that when students clicked on this, or the teacher clicked on it, or parents or grandparents clicked on this, it would direct them to wherever you want. So if you're wanting to create a link to another web page or another blog, this is where you can go ahead and add a link. So again, that was just by highlighting and then clicking on the chain. When I'm all done, if I run out of time, I can click save as a draft, and it'll allow me to come back and edit it later. It also shows you the status. So it's right now it's currently as a draft, it's not published. The visibility of it's going to be public. Because I'm an administrator, it's going to show up as public. I can choose to have it published immediately. If I want to wait until a certain day to have it published, I can change that as well. Also, if I want to add some tags so that I can easily find some posts later on, this is where you could add some tags. So when you're all done, you can see one last thing I should mention is if you want comments to be allowed on this post, you have that option to choose to allow comments. If I uncheck that box, then no one can make comments, even if they're approved to make comments. Since it's not checked, they won't be allowed to. When I'm all the way done, if I click publish, since I'm an administrator, it's going to automatically go ahead and post it. So if I click on all blogs, it's going to show every single post that has been made. So you can see I got a little icon that says new. This is my post that was made by the administrator. It tells you who the author was. So if I click on test, it's going to be that test post that I made. This is a sample post. That is what it's like to create a post as an administrator. Now I'm going to log out and log in as a student to show you what a student will end up seeing when they log in to create a post. So if they log in as a student, they're going to have the same options that you do as far as the dashboard, create a new post, review posts. You can see who is logged in by up at the top. It says student 1. If I click on the actual name of the blog in the top left, it'll take them to the blog. So again, they're still logged in as a student. It looks very similar to yours. They just don't have as much flexibility as what you do as a teacher. So again, click new post. So I'm going to title this as a student test post. Again, you can add your text to your post that you're going to have for your students. Again, you can format it. So again, it was just like your window. The one thing that's going to be a little bit different is you're going to have the status is a draft. The visibility is public, but the thing is when they hit the blue button, it says submit for review, which means it's not going to show up on the blog until I approve it as a teacher. So again, they have the same options. They can go ahead and highlight, add links. They have the same option to choose visual versus HTML, so it's very similar to what it looks like as a teacher. You can see they do not have the option to make it so that no one can comment on it. When they're all done, they can choose to save it as a draft if they don't have time to finish, but if they're all done, they can go ahead and click submit for review. Now, a little box will pop up and say that it's up on the blog. It'll show like it's on the blog, but it actually is not. Since they're logged in as themselves, if they click on the class blog name, you can see it's not showing up as a post yet, because as a teacher I have not approved it. Now the one thing that's nice, if you entered in your email address, you'll get a notification saying you have a pending post. So I just got an email that told me that this student just made a new post. It's not showing up on the blog yet. So this is where I would have to log in as a teacher. Once I get a notification saying you have a new post for approval, that post is not going to show up on the blog until I would approve it. So I just logged back in as an administrator, and if I go on my dashboard and look, you can see now I have one pending post. So at this point, this is where as the administrator I have to click on a pending post, and you can see here it shows me exactly who the author was. If I click on this post, it'll show me what they said, and then if I click on publish, it will go ahead and make this live. So what I mean by that, I'm going to log out, and then I'm going to go to the blog, not logged in, so let me get rid of this so that we can go to the blog. So this is the blog that I created. You can see now that my student test post now shows up on the blog. You can see I'm not logged in as anyone. So a parent that would go to this page, a grandparent, another student, if they're not logged in, this is exactly what they would see. You can see now that I logged in as administrator and approved this post. It is now showing up. So again, now I can choose to look at this post. It'll tell me who made the post, whose blog this is. You can see I have no comments. So again, that was creating posts both as an administrator and a student. And again, it's very similar. The big difference is that as a student, it has to get approved first before it'll show up.